Hey guys, so last week we talked about moles and lots of moles. Okay, we worked on one-step mole problems, two-step mole problems. Everything we did with moles came from these three different definitions, okay, or the conversion factors. So 1 mole of a substance can equal 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd atoms, molecules, or formula units. 1 mole can equal the molar mass of something, that's when we use grams from the periodic table. Don't forget to have your periodic table out. And 1 mole can also equal to 22.4. So let's go ahead and we'll do an example of a one-step problem and an example of a two-step problem. And then I'll teach you guys what to do if you don't know if it's one or two steps, how to figure it out. And then you'll be on your own to work on the assignment today. All right. So one-step problem. All right. Says we have 10.5 moles of calcium chloride, and it wants to know how many grams of calcium chloride there are. Okay, so remember we always start with what we're given, 10.5 moles calcium chloride, Cl2, there we go. All right, if we have 1 mole on top here, that means on the next track, we have to have 1 mole on bottom. I don't know why, there we go. Okay, so that way my moles are diagonal from each other because we never want them to be neighbors. This is asking us to find grams of calcium chloride, grams of CaCl2. Okay, remember grams, molar mass, okay, from the periodic table. Okay, so here's my periodic table. I'm going to find calcium, which is 40.078. And I have 2 chlorine, so I'm going to add 2 times 35.453. And when I do that, excuse me, when I do that, I get 110.984. All right, so that's my molar mass. It's 1 calcium and 2 chlorines from the periodic table. Okay, now my answer is in grams. That's what I'm looking for. So now we can plug this into the calculator. Now, if this number's on top, are we multiplying or dividing? Yeah, multiply. Okay, so use your handy dandy calculator, 10.5 times 110.984, right? So I'm going to round this to a whole number. It's going to be 1,165 grams of chlorine, calcium chloride. All right. So that's our review for one steps. Okay, you just figure out what conversion factor you need and you plug it in. Okay, for two steps, okay, remember with two steps, they're asking us to go from like molecules to liters, but none of our definitions, let me move this, none of our definitions get us from molecules to liters. They all go from molecules to moles, and then we can go from moles to liters. So we're going to write out the train tracks first, and then we're going to put it in the calculator. Okay, we start with what we're given, 4.81 E24 molecules of chlorine. Remember, make sure you're writing out all the units. Okay, so if this is talking about molecules, we know that our conversion factor is going to be needing to use Avogadro or Avogadro's number. Okay, since I have molecules right here on top, that means molecules needs to go on bottom. So here I'm going to have Avogadro's number, 6.02 E23 molecules of chlorine gas for every 1 mole of chlorine gas. Okay, so the first step with the two-step problem is convert it to moles. Okay, so you take what you're given, convert it to moles. All right, now it's asking me to find liters. Okay. Well, with liters, we know that 1 mole is 22.4 liters. Since I have 1 mole on top right here, that means it has to go on bottom of the next track. So 1 mole of chlorine. Okay, and this is for every 22.4 liters of chlorine. There we go. That's what we're looking for. Okay. So now when we put this in the calculator, we're going to start with the number they gave us. Okay. So up a little bit, 4.81. Okay. Remember it's second and the E button, this button above 7. Okay. The little comma, 24 divided by 6.02. E23, and I'm dividing because this number's on bottom. For the next track, the number's on top. So now we're going to multiply by 22.4. I'm going to round this to the nearest whole number. Okay. 1, 7, instead of 8, I'm going to say 9 because it's 0.9. So 179 liters of fluorine gas. Okay. Remember, I'm not super picky on the rounding as long as your answer is really close to mine. And it looks like something the calculator would say. Okay. Something else with two-step before we move on to the next part. Okay. With two steps, when you're always given and you start converting it to the moles, that number will always go on bottom every time. And what you're looking for, okay, that unit will always go on top. So when you're doing a two-step mole problem, you're always going to have one mole here and one mole there. You just need to figure out which numbers to put in these spots. Okay. Given goes on bottom. What you're looking for goes on top. Okay. Now, the last section of the assignment is going to ask you to solve, it's just going to mix them up. You're going to have a molar mass section, a one-step mole section, a two-step mole section, and then a mixed problems. Okay. If it's a mixed problems, you need to figure out, is it one step or is it two steps? Okay. Here's your hint to help you. Okay, if it gives you moles in the problem, that's a one-step problem because you're going to start with the liters or with the unit they give you, and then you're going to convert it to moles. Okay, or if you start with moles, okay, then you're going to automatically convert it to what they give you. So if you see moles in the problem, okay, moles equals one step. All right. If you don't see moles in the problem, okay, this is when, if you don't see moles in the problem, this is when you have to use the conversion factors, okay, and you have to first go from what they give you. So like liters, convert that to moles, okay, and then you have to convert that to what you need. So 1 mole over so many molecules. All right, so if it doesn't say moles in the problem, then you have to do 2 steps. So you can go from what you started with to what you need. Okay, so moles equals 1 step. Okay, no moles equals 2 step. All right, hopefully that helps you out with this worksheet. Okay, if you have any questions, your sub has an answer key that she can double check that you're doing the right work with. Okay, and remember, I'll be here after school today. Just swing by my room and I'll help you guys with whatever questions you have. All right, but please get your work done and just be good people. All right, I'll see you, if not after school, then Thursday. Bye, guys.